to be talking about the climate change portion of the debates and let you guys know two competitive national champion debaters' thoughts on how those two presidential candidates debated. Number one thing that stood out for me was that Biden made a concession that forced Trump to basically tell him he's alienating a lot of the AOC type supporters, which is that Trump or Biden does not support the Green New Deal, even though on his website it says that that is a crucial framework for his progress on climate change. How do you think Biden handled the climate change point? Do you think he needed to double down? Do you think he needed more rhetoric?
I think he needed more of an explanation, Loki. So, like, my thing is, again, this is just, the strategy of Biden is just to be like, there's no, like, that Trump does not have an actual initiative. This took place a lot in terms of how the debate progressed. And when asked, Trump was just like, but you support the Green New Deal. Yeah, you support the Green New Deal. And I think Biden was just like, it's one of those things where a word has a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Right? So, Biden was making, again, another collective assessment about whether or not, like, it was worth appealing to the, quote, radical left in favor of, or rather against the moderates. Because that word has baggage that affects the way that moderates perceive a global climate change policy, at least as it relates to things like economic development as well. So he makes a move to say, I don't support the Green New Deal, and his exact words are, I support the Biden plan. And he's like, what's the Biden plan? And then I was just like, honestly, at this moment, I can't really remember. He did say something. There was something he said, I believe in regards to giving money to businesses in Brazil so that they don't deforest the Amazon.
Biden said that?
Yeah, something like that. But it was just like, it was like one. That's the only thing I remotely remember, and I was just like, I don't have a cohesive vision of what the Biden plan is, and I like if you're gonna center your framework around that, you need to center more of it as like not just he doesn't have a plan, but like I have one that works. And even if I know about that, I don't know why it works. I just know, for example, that we might be able to pay off people in the not to deforest the Amazon as much. I don't know what that does in the concept of reversing damage to the ozone layer. I don't know any of that. Now, of course, this is a presidential debate. 2 minutes is not enough time to be able to explain that. But you at least need to put the pieces out there so that people can start doing research, so that people can care more. I just don't know what the plan is.
Yeah, I was also kind of lost around this because this is where kind of my beef with Biden has been the whole time. I don't think he cares about anything. I really think he just cares about getting power. Because climate change is such an existential
My God.
I mean, it's true. He botched the racism stuff. He botched the COVID stuff. The climate change debate, to me, is where he has a clear policy advantage that is beneficial for two parties. A, the people who don't have jobs or are basically losing their jobs right now. We're talking about coal miners. We're talking about people in industries that like the automotive engine that's basically being phased out with electric vehicles, things like that. He has jobs for them with the Green New Deal or the Biden plan or whatever. He has a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of research on the solar, wind, air industry, and there are so many jobs to be made of just installing solar panels, of having more electric car companies, of applying more windmills.
Expanding industry is always good for jobs.
And then the climate, like, I don't know what more could have happened in 2020 that could have made us realize that the climate is fucked. Outside of the Amazon forest, the wildfires, the red sky. Like,
what was the thing in Australia? It was like from Australia.
Tree fires, yeah, dust.
There was something that was like from Australia to California, and it was like it was literally like a diagnosis of just hot spots for like environmental disaster,
right?
Like globally.
And this is really important because, again, the desensitization. I saw a clip the other day of a Trump at like some council, and they asked him about the 120 degrees in California, and they're like, so what are you going to do about it? He's like, that science is false, we'll be fine. And it's just like, no one cares about him saying that because we are so desensitized to it. I think it was Biden's burden in the climate change debate to be like, look, for all the people who want to vote for Trump, we will have better jobs for you if you allow us to get rid of fracking. Second of all, you will have a fucking planet because we won't be doing the crazy shit we're doing right now where we're reducing energy prices by fracking into the planet. We don't need energy that is the same as oil that we discovered hundreds of years ago. We can transition. That vision is something AOC can communicate. That vision is something that I think more of the left-wing group of the party, Bernie, is a little bit better at it. But Biden's just so stale. He was just like, I have the Biden plan. And then Trump gets to win the argument by being like, what the hell is the Biden plan? You agree with the radical leftists. And this goes back to our conversations, if you guys have been watching our coverage, which is that you have to pick a position. If you're going to say the Green New Deal is a crucial framework on your website, you're I mean, I don't know what you're disagreeing with at that point.
That's the thing. I'm a little curious about what, at this point, I'm curious about what crucial means. It's just like, there's got to be some crux of the plan. You can't
that
just
you
be like,
don't agree with if you're not agreeing with the Green New Deal.
Like, it can't just be like the thesis argument, warming's bad.
Right.
Like, that can't be the framework.
That's just not a policy proposal.
Right. It's like everyone that had that plans, because at this point, if someone doesn't agree that warming's bad, they're not going to vote for you. It doesn't, like, but they're not going to vote for you.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You have to understand who your audience is. Like, Debate 101, you are not talking to the Republicans who don't believe in climate change. You're talking about to the people on the left that are not, well, this is a good question, that are apathetic, right, and some people on the right, but you're looking to people who want a new world in which there are new jobs, new industries, and we save the one planet we have. And I think Obama, with doing the Paris Climate Agreement, did such a good job stressing the importance rhetorically of the climate. I don't think Biden has that same energy, and I also think he didn't grill Trump on getting out of the climate agreement, and he didn't mention that it only takes into effect in 2021. Like, he pulled out in 2017, but it takes 4 years for you. So he should have been like, yo, if you're watching, we literally have a couple of months before it's absolutely irreversible and we alienate the rest of the world.
So that would be the way to push pressure in the context of this election.
And create urgency. And Trump's biggest argument was, why are you talking about the climate? China and India do a horrible job. It's like, yes, and I think Biden needed to say, we are the free world leaders. If we set the example, others will have to follow. And if we pull out of the Paris Climate Accord, there is no way we can expect China and India to now be better model countries for climate change.
Here, like that's the really weird part. It's just like, at that moment, I was just like, in what world, if you're Trump, is it a good argument to be like, and the standard is China? Because, like, you know, if the Chinese are doing it, then, you know, we have the right to do it too. And I feel like that's a moment to just be like, yes, but we are not China. Right. We don't have to be China. We are not India. We don't have to be India. We can be better. We should be better. We will be better. Biden 2020.
This is just such a big point, because people that you're in my age are going to have to deal with the ramifications of climate change. And I think, like, Biden is speaking to a lot of first-time 18-year-olds when if he could clearly articulate, we have one shot at this. Like, I think we've ignored how much of an existential crisis it is because of COVID, and, like, when your loved ones are dying, like, you don't care about some climate change thing. But now that it's lessened down a little bit, we have to get back to the importance of this. Like, red skies are crazy. Imagine waking up and you see the sky is red. That's some apocalypse shit. And I think Biden, like, he just doesn't know how to communicate. And there's actually people getting entire PhDs in science communication, right? Because this is a big field of how do we communicate climate change is bad, so people don't get apathetic towards it.
The wildest part about that, so I remember when we were remember when we went to, like, camps for, like, debate? Mm-hmm. So we used to have this guy that used to, like, teach us philosophy, right? And I forgot what the philosophical point he was trying to teach us about was. His name was Marshall Thompson. Oh, you remember Marshall? And Marshall used to just tell us, like, he used to do this lecture where he would, like, talk about how you would wake up one day and things that you objectively knew to be true would become objectively false, and you'd have to wrap your head around it. It was like, how do you realize that something is wrong? And he was like, what if one day you woke up and all the grass was orange? Right? And he was saying a bunch of things, like, all the grass is orange, the sky is the floor, and the floor is the sky. And then he was like, what if you woke up one day and the sky wasn't blue? And I was like, you realize we're, like, living in that world now, right?
Right.
Like, I took a picture of the moon yesterday because it was like, or like 3 days ago, because it didn't look like a moon. Like,
and the point the Marshall was trying to make there, one of our debate instructors, was that lets you know something is wrong.
Right? Yeah.
So the whole point is, like, if the sky is red, something's wrong.
But, you know, apparently there's nothing wrong. Which is the interesting thing. So I really do think that you're right about the initial point you made, which is that there is a level of apathy that now exists in the context of climate change that should worry us.
Yes.
And for that same reason, I believe that this part of the debate is a wash. So, long story short, in terms of my views of this debate,
I agree with that, yeah.
I think that this might have been the most pointless debate,
Absolutely.
The biggest waste of 2 hours I've personally ever spent, outside of maybe one.
Well, it was funny. It was entertaining.
I don't know, man.
It was humorous.
I guess.
Shut up, man.
It gave us something to talk about.
Shut up, man. Bro, that shit was hilarious.
Like, you're right. But at the same time, it's just like, for its initial purpose, it makes no sense as a debate. And this is part of what I think produced a disincentive. But I think that what it shows on the concept of climate change is that there's just not enough care from either side for it to even be a point.
Because they're also old as, like, they don't care. They're gonna die before anything bad happens. They're both, it's like 75. What, they got 10 years left, maybe? No, I'm serious, bro. Like, old people, I mean, I've seen some comedy bits about this. Old people don't really care that much about existential problems because it's not existential to them. It doesn't change their existence. Which brings up why we need someone, like, younger doing this stuff. But, yeah, I think also Trump was able to say, like, we have low gas prices, we have low energy, we are energy independent. That was his sort of terminology because of the America First thing that he got in. I think that, you said it's a wash. I think that's a W for Trump, though, right?
What,
because he's characterizing Biden as saying we're going to make us rely on getting oil from Saudi Arabia. And he's going to say, if we're getting oil already, let's just do it at home. And that's where I think Biden needs to come in and be like, no, oil's bad. We need different shit. And he just wasn't able to do that, which again is why I think he capitalized on this.
That makes sense. Just like, I don't think that, like, for me, again, I'm stuck in a position where I'm just like, differing perspectives, right? It's not one of those things that's clear-cut presumption. If there is, small risk, then it means that they've won this point. I think that, I'm not sure why the Saudi oil thing is a sufficient starting point for Trump to be like, I don't know why that's so giant that it gets Trump a W when the subject is climate change.
Yeah.
Because he was there were so many points where he was just like, I'm the guy for the economy. I think that if the question was about the economy, he's got a way stronger internal link when he talks about things like healthcare and talks about the provision of private healthcare, et cetera, for like people, and like his claim about like jobs and rebuilding the economy post-COVID. I feel like all those things are a way cleaner way of explaining why Trump is, better for the economy than Biden is. So I don't know why the Saudi oil thing really matters. Like, sure, people will think about it when they're in gas lines and they see the prices going up or down, or they see the lines becoming longer. But like, as a immediate issue for how we think about the economy, I don't know if that particular claim about getting oil from the Saudis factors that much into people's decision-making calculus.
Well, we know one thing, that we're kind of fucked when it comes to climate change, no matter who wins.
Good luck with the warming. And I say that knowing that I will have to watch this video, listen to it as a consumer, and that I will be saying it to myself.
What did you say about warming?
Good luck with the warming.
Oh, good luck with the warming.
Good luck to all of us. We got a lot of problems.
Well, this podcast is getting pretty hot, so